Bucks, 2 o'clock on Friday, and here we are again, live, with my good buddy, Gary Heimann.
It's me again.
It's me again. How you doing?
Real good, buddy.
Awesome. Well, first off, let me tell you this, is I'd like you all to share the show. Share it on your site, share it with someone, do something. This is going to be a great show. And what we're talking about, and I want your feedback on this. I want to hear some of your stories. I want to hear your comments. Because what we're going to talk about is something that we've all been through. And that is getting into the business. Yes. How did you get into the business? So that's really what we want to look at today, talk about today, and really delve in. And I want some suggestions from you. How do people get in the business today? I feel it's a two-pronged thing, if you will, Gary. First of all, when we got into the business, there was a high wall around it.
Oh, yes.
It took you a couple years to really establish yourself. I think these days it's much less of a wall you can enter in. However, to get the higher production level, the more money, all of that, it's probably maybe even a little tougher swim upstream because there's so many other people in it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
How did you get in the business?
You know, I was over at Cal State Long Beach back in the late 70s, and I was real fortunate. Worked with a lot of students that already had networked out into the business, and they were able to pull me in to the business with their contacts.
Okay.
So it was great. It was
so it was like just because you knew somebody that was in the business, that is how you got into the business. They pulled you in. And then tell me about, everybody's got the first job down. Tell me about the second job. How did you get on the second job? What was that all about?
You know, while on set on that first job, I went around to each department, introduced myself, and just asked them what they did, what were their functions, their responsibilities on set. And they gave me the cruise around, and everybody was very nice. And then I gave them their number and said, hey, you need an assistant, you need some help, whatever it took to get onto another set, that's what I did.
Oh, and really there you really bring it home, because getting on set is the prime thing. It's getting on set is what makes it happen for you, because there's no other place to network for getting on set than on set.
Absolutely, and there's that old saying called line of sight hiring.
Oh,
that's key.
That everything.
Is key.
That is everything.
Plus, if you're working, that's just a good thing. And back then, if you picked up your phone right away. Your home phone, of course. There were no cell numbers.
Yeah.
But that means you weren't working.
Yeah, that's right.
I always thought, just let it go to the machine.
Let it go to the machine. Then you can vet it.
Right.
Which is important. You can vet that message. You can plan a response to it. You get some kind of idea, and you have your questions set up about what it is in the beginning. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's very important. Absolutely. Good idea.
And I'm not telling anybody how to do their business, but a lot of times, the client would say, hey, where are you? Where are you? And I would just say, hey, I'm location scouting.
Oh,
all the time.
I like that.
Because wherever you're at, you're always looking at different places to shoot at. So you're not really telling a lie. Hey, this could be a place to shoot B-roll for a future client.
Yeah. Now I know why I liked you so much when I met you. You've got all those nice devious ideas on how to do things. But I'll tell you something that is the truth, though. And I, in my social media, and this was early on when I first started, I'm not, that everything has changed in social media, so have I, obviously. But that was one of my things, is that I was going to post a picture every day and show myself on set. And it was either, and I never lied about it, I never said I was working here today when it was an old picture from before. But I just said, this is a shoot I did with blah, 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 or about blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? I put it up there. And pretty soon I found out what happened is everybody, all they do is look on the picture and they see that I'm on set and I'm posting about that. So in their mind, it's every day I'm working. How does he do it? You know what I mean? And I became the like the world's best work illusionist, you know.
Right.
So,
Right.
so I realize this is getting me a lot of people say, "Oh, if I can fit you, or if you can fit it in, we'd like to have you next Thursday." Of course, I can fit
Right.
it in.
And
Yeah.
that not only means, that, maybe you're not even working the shoot, maybe you're just delivering equipment.
Oh yeah.
You still take the picture saying, "Hey, I was here
Oh.
on this set delivering gear." Everything attached to production.
Yes.
You want to take pictures of, you want to document everything.
Yes. And you know what? Now I have all my guys take pictures for me when they're out
Absolutely.
on set. You know what I mean? And really the thing I do now that I really, really like is I name the guys. I go,
Sure.
the A team's here today. I
Right.
name the guys. That goes to all their posts and it comes back. Now, you may, people get jealous sometimes that you're working a lot of stuff. Frankly, what I have found, and this is it, is people want to go with the winner.
Oh,
They want to
absolutely.
bet on one of the three horses that come in first, right?
Oh, well, that's it.
That's it. I just want to be in that pack and I want to do it. So that is a really, really good way of always keeping your name out there with social media.
Right. Right.
But we're going to talk about that entrance, that getting into the business. And excuse me, if you will, because I'm sitting down here and I'm sharing the show right now on my phone and trying to be discreet about it. But let's not go that. Here, let me just go ahead and make one more post. And I'm going to make that to Bernie's Grip and Lighting. And we're going to do it. And I encourage all of you to help me out with this. Please share the show. We're trying to get some good distribution. And I don't know if you know this, Facebook has pushed everything back further.
Yes.
And this is another really good opportunity to tell you, we are now not only on Facebook, but we are on YouTube, we're on Periscope, and we're on Twitch.
Yes.
Twitch,
Yes.
which is mostly a gaming platform, but they're really expanding out now. So you can find Bernie's Apple Box live at 2 o'clock on all of those, too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
we're going for it. And since I'm making announcements right now, let me let me ask a question let me introduce the guys. I haven't introduced the guys yet. There they are, Sean and Tony.
Hello, everyone.
The brains
We're here.
behind the operation. You wouldn't
Again.
be watching anything right now if it wasn't for these two. So thanks, guys. Hope everything's good. And I just wanted to say, too, that we're going out to the Chapman Leonard Product Showcase this Sunday, May 6th. We're going to be there with Grip Rigs is going to be there, Airy, Red. I mean, there's a lot of players out there. Please come and see us at Chapman Leonard, North Hollywood. I don't know if we got that. Do we have that piece up, Tony? Can we load that little video you did? Can we load that into the show, or have we?
No.
Okay, let's try to do it, see if we can. But it's going to be there. Please come out and see us Sunday. Apple Box Network will be there live. So you want to come out and check that out. It's going to be awesome. Sean and Tony are going to be there. Gary's going to be there, the whole gang. So get on out there.
Isn't there a special surprise out there with something, the biggest Apple Box or?
Don't give it away. Oh, can't give anything away here. Hold on, Gary. That's
secret trade
that's secret
material.
stuff. You could lose your security clearance.
Oh boy, oh
That's-
boy.
That could happen. That could happen. But no, yes, I think there's going to be like Greg's got some great things planned, like he always does for grip rigs and grip support. Also, like to say hi to the scene snipers out there. I hope you guys are going to be out there. I haven't had a chance to talk yet, but I hope they're out there. We'd like to interview them. Stop by. We'd like to interview you too. So anything you're doing. But back to our original subject here, and that is for young people now. I'm really focusing on that, on getting into the business. And one of the reasons that I'm on this is I was at a thing called VitalLink this morning. They called me in to discuss with teachers, people who are teaching college, teaching high school, and one lady was actually teaching middle school for film and video. And which I really applaud this, because this was really, really good, I think, planning and something. They wanted to invite actual people who are in the industry and ask them directly, what do you suggest we tell our students to look at, do, all of that, which I really applaud. one thing, and we'll get into it a little more, but one thing that I was surprised about was this sort of unity on the board that we were as professionals, that people don't really need to go to college to do this business.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? In ways they do, and it's good to have like a
foundation
base, and for networking, you're going to meet a lot of people that are in the industry with, that you're going to know for a long time. But I was surprised about that, because I was kind of thinking when I went in there, I go, I may be the only one that thinks that.
Well, it's absolutely true, because when I was first breaking into the business, I was never asked if I had a degree in radio, television, and
no
film.
way.
Never. Even though I have one,
Yeah.
but I never had to present it to anybody.
Yeah.
So
I think even when I'm going to just scoot over a little bit off camera there, but when I came into the business, there wasn't even a consideration that you might go to a university or college for film school.
Right.
I mean, to get into the business, and I still don't think there is. One thing that I said at the meeting today was, if you gave me a choice and it was just straight up, and I didn't know anything else, about whom I would hire, a 2-year college person with an associate's degree, or the kid at the drive-through at McDonald's, it would always be the kid at McDonald's.
Sure.
For a very simple reason. That has already been proven that this guy can handle multiple orders at one time. He can focus, and he can keep on track for the biggest priority, and put things in order. And when he opens the window, he's smiling.
And customer service.
Well, that's it. Customer service. He's going to know who the customer is, who the client is. He's had work experience. And that is so important in our industry.
Absolutely.
One other point I made is I said, really, and I truly believe this, you're not maybe, and this is not, when you're talking about individuals, one is different than the other. I get it. So I am generalizing here. But you're probably not settled enough until you're at least 25 in this industry to reap the benefits.
Absolutely.
Of it.
Absolutely. Yeah,
You
I agree.
agree?
I agree.
Good.
I agree.
Good.
I agree. You're still trying to find your niche, your where you want to be in this industry.
Yeah.
So my suggestion is, well, the way I started too, was I went to the local cable company, and they had positions open, camera, sound, directing.
Yeah.
And you start off at a low wage, but guess what? You get your hands dirty with the gear, and you're out there, and making all your mistakes on a lower end platform.
Oh yeah. No. That's exactly it. You do that, and it's when you don't want to put yourself in a position where all the heat is on you.
Right.
In other words, if it's your first time acting, you don't want the lead in the picture.
Right. Of
You
course.
want to hang around the other actors.
Yeah.
You want to see
Sure.
how the whole process works.
Absolutely.
Doing all that. It's the same in our industry, or any part you get into it. I think the most telling thing that I hear from people who have started with me and they've done it, when I ask people after about 3 months, is this what you thought it would be? All of them have answered the same way. It's nothing like I thought it would be. Because you usually think it's going to be a lot more glamorous. People are relying on your creativity. None of that stuff happens.
No.
You know what I mean? It's a very tough transition to make. And I think, and here, and I want to talk about this a little while, is it's less of a vocation than it is a lifestyle.
Yes.
I think the lifestyle overrides what you actually do.
It's true.
I mean, you plan some. Well, here's a classic example in my life. My wife, and she didn't tell me soon enough, but it wouldn't have made any difference either. I want to say. My wife is from Turkey. We have just a few relatives on her side that are out here from Turkey.
Sure.
One of them is out out here now. They live out in, I think, down the 10 somewhere, closer to Palm Springs. But the son is getting married this Saturday. Well, you know what I'm doing this Saturday?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
setting up for our big event over
Sure.
at Chapman Leonard
Sure.
on Sunday. So my wife tells me, she goes, oh, they're getting married on, it's this Saturday. You know? So look, the reality is like to do the right thing. You know what I mean? These are close people.
Sure.
This is if I was in Turkey, there would be no doubt I'd be going to the
No
wedding.
doubt.
There is no other possibility than that. Here, I just had, and my wife already got it. She goes, yeah, you got to go to your thing.
Yeah.
You know, and this is a setup. You know,
Yeah.
it's just a setup that
Not
I'm
the actual
doing
workday,
for
sure.
the actual workday is Sunday where we're shooting. But she gets it, she knows it, she understands it, and that's the reality. You know, that could be, and God bless my wife is an angel, she really is, but that could be a deal breaker in a lot of relationships.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely, absolutely. Whoever, that's, picking your partner is
Yeah.
tough enough.
Yeah.
But picking a partner that understands
Production.
yeah, that's
nearly-
the top. That's the top of the
Very
the
few
ledger.
people have made that.
Yes.
Made that correct choice.
Yes,
You know what I
yes,
mean?
yes. So so just be aware. You're young in the industry. You're just starting out, and yes, you're going to fall in love.
Yeah.
But boy, you better let the significant other. Better let them know what they're going to be in for, and no surprises.
And it's hard for you if you're starting out to even
Sure.
know what they're in for. You know,
Absolutely.
I know in my life, I've taken so many things and said, oh, well, I'll never do that. I'll never do this. And sure enough, you don't know what situations and circumstances that you're put in. Your priorities change by, look, if you're going to put money on the table, and in my family, I do.
Sure.
My wife is an artist.
Yes.
So she doesn't have a great big income or anything like that. It's about making it work, and it's about making it work every month. And you know that too, that our careers are based on our predictability to be on set.
Absolutely.
Right? They are hiring us because we never miss.
We never miss.
We always do it.
Yes.
You miss once or twice, you may as well miss 20 times.
Yeah, they say good news, bad news travels a lot faster than good news.
Oh, yes, absolutely. What is that? Yeah, it's, what is it? That a secret takes a year to get around the
Yes.
world. Bad news goes overnight.
Goes overnight, yes.
yeah.
It's so true. So
Listen,
true.
we got a little commercial break right now, so we will be right back. Hi, I'm Bernie. I own Bernie's Grip and Lighting, San Diego Grip and Lighting, and Los Angeles Grip and Lighting. We pride ourselves on not only renting you the best equipment, but also giving you the best crews. And one of our core values here at Bernie's Grip and Lighting is that we give you the highest production value in the world. And remember, people used to say national, local. No, we present world-class production value on every set. We also know budgets are very tight these days, and you've got 10 hours to get what you need in the can. We move ahead, we move fast, and we know what you need. When you rent from Bernie's Grip and Lighting, you have a partner on your production for that day that is making sure you are well taken care of. So anytime you're in Southern California, give us a call at 714-609-3545, and we'll take very good care of you. See you on set. Hey everybody, we're back. Here we are talking about getting into the business. I think we got a couple comments or questions or likes or whatever. What came in, Sean? Is something come in on social media?
Yeah, so basically we have, I'm just going to cycle through a bunch of these.
Yeah, tell me what they say because I can't read it from my distance from the monitor. Old man.
I can't even read it, and I'm sitting 5 feet.
Do you read it, Sean? Can you see what it says?
Sergey says, hi there. Just
Oh, Sergey, I love Sergey. How you doing? That's great. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Awesome makeup artist.
Yeah.
Awesome makeup artist.
Let's go to the next one. Who's that?
Gene Anderson?
Yeah,
Gene Anderson.
A good
I
friend of
heard
Barney
he
is back.
shaved. I heard he shaved his mustache because he's trying to
Twice.
get work at Disney.
Oh,
Is that true?
that's true.
Awesome.
Our good friend of the show, Barney, is back again.
Who,
He's gonna
Bar-
have to tell us how to pronounce his
Oh,
name.
Bjorn.
Bjorn, yeah,
Bjorn.
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 Bjorn, thank you. Thank you, buddy, for watching. Love it. Hang in there. Any questions, let me know. I'll answer them for you personally.
All right, Logan.
Logan Reynolds saying loves the show.
Hey, Logan, thanks a lot, buddy. Thanks for checking in. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Share it, guys, if you can. Share it out there and give us a high five.
We got Manuel.
Oh yeah, Manuel Carrillo is here.
Ah, Manuel, yes.
Manuel.
Great, buddy. You know what? We've had Manuel on the show. He's doing a great car show now, too. Send us some information. Post it right here on this show. People will want to see that. He does excellent work. Excellent work. I'm sorry I haven't been more in touch with you, buddy, but we'll talk soon. Thanks.
And let's see, William Primrose, who apparently wants us to change the background.
Request for a new background color.
Maybe we'll go green next
What
week,
would
or
you
yellow.
prefer? Yellow.
Yeah,
Yellow?
give us a color. Maybe we'll accommodate next week.
Yeah. Who knows? I like the blue, but you know, I'm willing to change. I'm not too old to change. Gary.
I just say we just go to chroma green, and then they
Chroma
can do whatever
green,
whatever they want.
yeah,
they can just put it on
in.
themselves.
But I'd be a little bit afraid of that.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd be
That's
a
true.
little bit afraid of that. So maybe, maybe something like that. Maybe something like that. All right. So back to our topic of point here. So it was very interesting, and I felt badly almost for these instructors, you know, because think about it. We're in the industry, you know that we are well established, you know, and we see these changes coming in. There's no one in the industry I talk to that doesn't say, "Oh, it's changing so fast. I can't figure it out. I don't know what it is when it's changing." Frankly, I can barely, and this was certainly never true for years, but I can barely keep up with all the lighting changes. You know, lights never used to change.
Yeah. Oh no. It
was pretty
airy. It
straight
was
up.
airy tungsten kit, and away you went.
Yeah, and mole, you know, different mole lights, airy tungsten kit. You
Yeah.
were out there shooting interviews all day,
Sure.
and you had maybe an 800 Joker. You know what I mean? You certainly had a 1200 LTM
Yes,
or
that's for
airy.
doggone sure.
Yeah. And that was about it. And you could make your livelihood with that. Now, with all the LEDs and with everything the LEDs are doing, you know, it's just really rough to keep up on it. That's not even saying cameras.
Right.
Almost, how do you keep up with that many cameras and everything they can do? I read the stats on cameras, and I just look at it and I go, my God, I don't understand any of this stuff. Of course, I'm not a camera guy. I'm not versed in it. But telling one from the other, you know what I mean? Right. And making a selection of where you're going to spend your $20,000, $30,000 at?
Sure,
That's banding. So we're asking people in schools who are teachers, who are used to much, I think, less complicated industries, if there is such a thing, you know, that we're asking them to teach these students the direction to go, and it's an impossible task.
You know, Bernie, it's interesting. I remember years ago I was asked to go back to my alumni, my high school alumni, to almost do the same thing, but in front of the students and give them some tips about productions.
Sure.
And I remember I did about a half hour's worth of like, well, you know, you're going to shoot something, maybe go to Home Depot, grab a scoop light, you know, shoot with this, shoot with, you know, and it was so funny because the teacher said, well, Gary, that's great, thanks. Do we have any questions for Gary? And one guy raises his hand, and I go, oh, great, what would you like to know? And he goes, oh, what kind of car do you drive? I go, a van for my production year? And everybody goes, I hear the whole room go, like they thought I was driving a Maserati or something, right?
Please. I think, how do I say this delicately?
Right.
I know, and this is maybe not so much as before, but I know a lot of guys want to get in this business because they thought it would make them a hit with chicks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like they were going to be cool.
Oh, absolutely.
Like they were going to be somebody was going to pay attention to them.
Right.
Now. It's completely the opposite.
the
It's more like
opposite.
owning a backhoe.
Actually, the chicks run away from you in this business.
Oh yeah, or they will.
Oh, they
They
will.
will, because
what are
you're
you
never
working
around.
a 15-hour day?
Yeah.
Oh, bye.
Yeah. Oh, you can't go outside. Oh, I got a
Yeah.
job.
I
Sorry.
got- yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I
You
got a
know,
pre-light.
But yeah, it is not going to do anything to enhance your standing in society.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? People, they say this to me all the time. What do you do? Oh, I'm a gaffer, and I have a rental company. And I go, oh, what's that? And I go, well, I like TV shows and sets and stuff like that, and I rent them lights. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, the number one line is that, have you worked with anybody famous?
Oh,
Yeah,
every
right,
time.
every
time. Because really, what we do is really not related to entertainment.
Right.
Everybody, that's all they see. They
Sure.
think you've worked. And we have worked with a lot of famous
Sure.
people.
Oh,
We
yeah.
have worked with celebrities. But the fact is, we've been in it so long, we don't want to work with
Right.
them anymore. We'd rather do bottle caps or pets,
Yes,
than celebrities, because there's just too much, generally too much
Drama-rama.
drama-rama
Drama-rama,
around
that's
it. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So that's what people think it is. That's what people think it's so cool. And working too with a celebrity or with somebody who's famous, you're in a working situation with them. I mean, frankly, I prefer that. I
Right.
would be much more uncomfortable if it was sort of a personal
Right.
situation. I've got my job, they've got their job. You're both pros, you're both on set making it happen, and you go home and leave afterwards.
Absolutely.
So I think there's a lot of that. It is not a glamorous job.
No,
And it's
no.
pretty thankless, too.
Yeah, that's funny because I remember at the end of a shoot, people will hang out at the end, and I always look at everybody, the client, I go, oh, by the way, this is the glamorous part of the job.
Yeah.
Well, we're ripping the gaffer's tape up or
Yeah.
wrapping stuff
Yeah.
out.
Yeah,
So,
this is the sexy part.
This is the
wrap.
sexy part.
Yeah. But there are always those people like yourself, me, and probably everybody in this room almost. You know what I mean? That wouldn't do anything else, and that's even if they could do something else. You know what I mean? Because I know me, I'm totally ruined.
Oh, yeah.
I am
Oh, yeah.
totally ruined.
They always say, if you had to do it all over again, would you do it again? And I would double down. I'd say, yes, I would.
Oh, I would do it again.
Yeah.
Now, I may make some other moves.
Oh, of
that
course.
I made. You know what I mean? That is something. But let me ask you, Gary, and give me a scenario here. Let's just say we've got, well, let's call him your son.
Sure.
Because then you're connected, okay? He's 25. He's 25, and he comes to you and says, Dad, that law school is so boring, I want to do what you do. I want to get into the business. I want to be in production. And let's just say you acquiesce, because I know you would fight like a banshee to not let that happen. But what advice would you give him for getting in? Give me that. And I don't mean to put you on the spot here.
No.
But I'd like to, because I think I know it's not going to be the usual stuff that people think about.
Right.
It's going to be what should he do on set to impress people?
There's a mutual friend of ours,
Yeah.
Ted Baker,
Yeah.
and he told me once that he was 25 years old,
Yep.
and he got onto a set, and producer came over to him and said, "Hey, you want to be in this business a long time?" And Ted goes, "Yeah, of course." And he goes, "Number one suggestion is stop the talk and start listening. Listen, listen, listen. The less comes out of your mouth, the better. And just listen what's going on set, right?
Right.
People who tend to run their mouth off on set, I never see them again.
Yeah.
People who listen.
Everybody hates a
Gets it.
talker.
Absolutely.
Everybody hates a talker.
Absolutely.
You know what?
Absolutely.
Because after 15 minutes, you've heard enough out of
yeah.
that guy.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
You don't want to hear any more.
That's it.
And I think what you're getting at is the art of this
listening.
business is to be able to hang with somebody 10 hours and not have them
boy,
tired
oh,
of
boy.
you.
Oh,
have them
yes.
glad you're still there after 8-10 hours.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I know quite a few guys that have all the gear in the world.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, oh, they must be working every day.
Yeah.
But guess what? They're sitting at home
Yep.
because there's too much yap on the set.
Too much yapping.
And what happens too is not only are you taking the focus away from somebody and who you're trying to make conversation with? And what happens is that not only do you get in trouble for that, but you get in trouble because somebody calls action and you're yapping still.
Yeah.
And the
you're
sound
right
guy
on it.
is going, I hear somebody talking in the background.
Yeah.
So it's a
No.
double whammy.
It's horrible. And here's the problem. This is not somebody getting into it, but here's what happens. Once you've been on a set for a long time, pretty soon that's second nature to you, and it's your workplace, it's your environment, you're comfortable there. No one else is comfortable there. The client, their client's client is not comfortable there. And they're hearing everything you're saying. And that becomes so annoying so quickly. So it's keep your yap shut, be polite, help people.
Absolutely.
Ears, I always say mouth shut, ears open.
And here's the key too. If you're just starting out as a PA and somebody says, hey, can you go get me a camera battery?
Yeah.
Don't bring back just one. You bring back 3.
Yes.
It's like anything else. That battery that you might have picked off the charger might be half charged.
Yeah.
I mean, it might say full, but you don't know. You know, the batteries have
You
have,
pick up
have
a
logic.
backup.
You know,
You have a backup right there.
Always.
Yeah,
Always.
yeah.
And another thing I did also with people is that a lot of times the camera guy can't move. He's got to sit on the shot. I'd swing over and go, hey, here's a bottle of water.
Yes.
Here's
I've
a trail
seen you
water.
do that. I know you do that.
It's like, it's those kind of things, you know, that just, your name gets stuck in people's heads.
Oh, yeah.
Look,
If a guy needs some water and he goes like, yeah, I remember Gary brought me over that water. That's so awesome. That's such a nice thing
it's
to do.
the little things like that.
Yeah. So first of all, everything your mother taught you. Right? Everything to impress people in the way what your mother taught you, do that. But then take it the extra step and think about everybody on set and doing it. And you know what? That does hit home because I remember when I was starting out and doing that, and I was, of course, quite a bit older. I was 40 years old when I started out, and I had a huge advantage of being an operations manager prior, so I knew who the client was. Right? I know who was who. And it was that same thing, is just being there, quiet, effective, listening, and executing very quickly.
Absolutely. Quickly is the key.
Yeah.
I saw so many people they go, hey, can you go grab me a battery? Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll be a couple of minutes. Or just some sort of, you just say, no worries, I'll be right on that.
Yeah.
And then you just go do the task and get back.
Yeah.
You know, that's the deal. A lot of guys, came and went in this business, and I just saw it all fall because they're just not focused and they're not on it.
Yeah.
You gotta be. Time is money.
Time is money.
At the end of the day.
And you're there, you need to pay attention. You need to keep that focus. And if you can't, you're not going to be as successful. And how many careers have I seen? Nobody ever got fired. Nobody ever got sliced off. But down the chart until now you're only working 1 day a week, maybe 4 days a month. You know what I mean? It can't sustain you.
Right.
You've done the opposite of what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to build clients, and you've taken that little bit you have to begin with and lose them.
Right.
You know. So it's really, really, really a tough thing.
You know, one thing I noticed, the guys who really went far in this business were the guys who were prepared for the shoot. I'd always see them have C-47s attached to their belt. They've got their knife. They've got a pocket.
They're
rigged.
They're rigged.
They're set where
they've got a roll of tape.
A roll of tape ready to go, and it's almost like you're always watching the set. You're always watching. You're always seeing, and you know, I always bring this up because I do a lot of corporate work for major utilities out there, and safety. Safety is another aspect.
Safety is so important.
You know, you see a light stand, and there's not a sandbag on it.
Yeah.
Or you see a stinger.
Yeah.
With no tape or a cover on it.
Yeah. There's nothing preventing you from tripping
and that all
over.
comes into play because if you're just standing and watching and something happens, what are they going to look at? It's going to be you.
It's going to be you, absolutely. How'd that happen?
That
was the thing you put there.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? No thought on it, no nothing else. No, it's very, very important, and that we're getting a little bit farther down the line.
Sure.
But that's the stuff, if you're coming on set the first time, you don't want to overstep your boundaries. You certainly do not want to bring anything up to anybody who is not your immediate supervisor
Absolutely.
if you are new. Absolutely, that director does not care what you think of that last
Absolutely.
scene.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, that goes keep your lips zipped.
Yep.
And talk only to the person who brought you on set or your immediate supervisor. Because it's so important. You know, that director doesn't want his focus taken off for any reason. You know what I mean? Listen to the director, do everything that you can to make the ship move more smoothly. During the shoot day.
Absolutely. And one thing I did want to mention too is I've seen this thing happen also. At the end of the shoot, a lot of the guys would come around and they'd say goodbye to, you know, the producer, director, the client, and they'd whip out their card.
Yeah.
Right then and there, going, hey, if you need any lighting, you need this, need that.
Yeah.
You know, here you go. Here's my name and number. No.
No.
It's a no.
No. Only one person talks to the client.
Yep.
You know, yes, pleasant asides, jokes, stuff like that, that's fine. But as far as business, pitching, anything, only the person whose client it
Absolutely.
is does that. And I also think it's poor form. You
Sure.
know what I mean? To go in and be that familiar with that
Because
client
other
right
crew
off.
guys are watching you also.
Oh yeah. Oh, they don't think they're not going to have you on set.
Oh, no
If you're
way.
playing that game.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. It's a dangerous game to play.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
but going back, I know you want to get your foot in the door.
Yeah.
And you know, the one thing I always suggest too is go out there and start shooting stuff, editing, shooting, whatever you can, and launch it onto YouTube.
I'll
and
tell
the
you
Facebook.
something. I had, and this is gutsy, but one of the other panels, and this one kid that was applying for a job, and this is really, 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 really good. He went to their site, took off one of the, didn't take it off,
Right.
excuse me. He ripped it so he
Sure.
could have it. He re-edited it and brought it in and showed them and said, this is what I would have done with that piece given what I have. And they looked at it and immediately realized it was better than what they had. And they hired him on the spot.
That's great.
Hired him in the room.
There you go.
Okay. And he was coming in as a PA. He was
Right.
coming in as an intern. They gave him a job.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
that is really thing. And you know, here is another thing that I think is so important too, Gary, and that is, and I have never done this myself. I don't actually know anybody who has done it, but here's what I think is so important. Put yourself, if you're a young person and you want to introduce yourself to a DP or a production company or whomever you want to work for, put yourself in a setting that is like a set setting or someplace really comfortable that that person's going to understand what they do, right?
Right.
And make an interview style greeting to them. It
Sure.
could be more general so you can send it to other people, but think of the impact that's going to have. A well-edited piece where you're introducing yourself, telling about yourself, and telling why you want to be on set with them. That's
Right.
huge, dude. That's huge. If I saw that, that person would be talking to me at my first available day.
Right.
because I never see people doing that.
Sure.
I never see anybody pushing that far ahead. Mostly it's just like, oh yeah, I could do it, maybe, you know. And if somebody did that, it'd blow me away.
You know, with social media, it could work for you and it can work against you.
Yes.
And where it works for you, of course, is how you illustrate how you shoot your shorts.
Yeah.
And put them on YouTube.
Yeah.
Show yourself on production sets. But what could kill you is what you post, because once you become friends with a producer, director, production company, guess what? They got the key to your life.
Yeah, that's right. And it is no longer your personal site; it's your marketing site for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, we're at 40 minutes, I think. So let's take a break. Let's take a break.
Burnie's workshop is fantastic. Burnie's workshop is awesome. Burnie's workshop is insightful.
Burnie, in one word, passionate maybe. You can tell he really cares a lot.
Burnie is a badass.
He's a great teacher. He has great stories.
And I would recommend this to anyone, not only someone like me who's starting day one, but I feel that in any profession, as you sharpen your sword, it always gets sharper.
I think the best thing about this is the access to understanding how to run your business, how to actually be in this filmmaking industry and make money at it. Coming to this workshop, I think, is what actually gets you the tools to understand how to do that, how to get out there and sell yourself.
I thought that was really cool. I thought, he knows all the tricks in the book, and he knows how to show that to us and actually demonstrate it so we actually know what he's talking about.
I really like the hands-on experience. That's something that you don't find a lot, but something you have to go on set a lot to just appreciate.
I know this is lighting seminar, but it's not only talk about lightings. He also share his business experience, personal experience, and guide us to what we should do, what kind of personality we should have in this business.
His stories, I think that kind of say everything, all in a few example stories that he gives out from time to time.
I would recommend this workshop to anybody who just brand into the industry, people who just don't know the swing of it. A lot of the stuff they don't teach you in film school.
I deal with a lot of freelancers every day, a lot of peers that I went to school with, a lot of professionals in the field, and they all need to take this class because it puts you on the next level, on the next playing field.
Bernie's a great guy. Bernie's really authentic. Like everything he learns, everything he teaches, the way he handles himself, the way he deals with other people. He's a one-of-a-kind guy, someone I've never come across before in the industry, and someone I hope to emulate and hope that there are more people like him out there that can help.
Hey everybody, and we're back, and I'm by myself now. Gary had to go out and take a phone call for a job, believe it or not, and I love that. I encourage that. I totally get it. But we are live, and he did it, so I said, yeah, man, get out of here. Go ahead, take it. Take the call and get the work, because it's so important. You know, it's funny. I think back on my days starting out, and, you know, I'll tell you, it was so... I really had no idea what to expect whatsoever. I remember coming into it and thinking, oh, it's got to be like exciting. Well, it's much more exciting than I ever thought it would be due to the travel and all the people I met and the great people that work in the industry. It's much more exciting on that. But I never realized it would demand so much of my time. It would take so much of what I had, and it took everything. As I said, I was 40 years old when I got in the industry. I was single, which was a huge advantage for me, being single. And I really put my heart and soul into it. And I really ate, bled, breathed, drank, everything production. And I would use it for so long. I would do it for so long that became my only life. I mean, I was single, like I said. I didn't really date. I didn't go out with anybody. And you know what? I was about as happy as I had ever been in my life because every day was a new adventure. I'd get that phone call and it was going someplace different or doing something very challenging for myself that I never had an opportunity to do before. So going through that and at that age, I just did all the steady little stair steps. Didn't know what I was doing. In retrospect, I do now, of course, but did all those stair steps right up through where I am today. I remember I started taking one paycheck and take half the paycheck and buy a piece of equipment with that. So that when I went on set, I brought 6 stingers with me. I had 10 sandbags. I had 6 C-stands with me. And that would be like a multiplier for me because then the gaffers would start hiring me to come on set because they knew they had a little bit extra gear that could back their package up. That was a really good move that I made back then, and that was something because it showed my commitment to the industry, and that's really what you have to do. I remember there was a time I had a Suzuki Sidekick. I took the passenger seat out of it. I built it up with sandbags. I put my 6 C-stands on the right side. I put my case of Kino flows on it, which was a little dangerous because I could only see half of my mirror on the other side of the door. And then I would have some Stingers and some 650s back there and stuff. And I just flew that way until I finally got so much more stuff that I had to get a small van. So I bought a little van, had it in there, and I thought, you know what? I'm probably big enough now to sell myself as doing an interview setup. So that's what I did, and I actually, got a list of producers and stuff, and I started cold calling one-on-one. And that was the best thing that I ever did, because somebody talked to me and somebody gave me an 8-day job up in Half Moon Bay, and I met my good friend Bill Holshovnikoff up there. That was the first time we had worked together. Bill is such a natural teacher and trainer and so knowledgeable. Don't know anybody that still knows as much about light as Bill does. And he really taught me, and I was his gaffer for like the next 10 years. So it was a great, wonderful experience. And looking back on that now, I did so many things right. I positioned myself so well just out of not knowing anything else to do, but did it. That was the best thing that ever happened to me. Then was working a lot. Then I started really turning up the juice. I was working, 5-6 days a week, week after week after week. And it got so busy that I bought a trailer because I bought some more gear. I had the trailer, then I would take the trailer over, drop it off at a shoot, put a couple guys on that, take my van and go do another shoot. So now I was working 2 jobs that day, a real force multiplier for my business there. I worked and worked and worked and worked and worked. I kept my head down. I was the busiest guy that I knew, but I didn't look right, left, or anywhere but forward. I did that for a long time. I amassed so much money and had so much work coming in. In December of 2006, I went out and I bought a 5-ton and a 3-ton truck, completely outfitted, and I was in business. Then I had, at that time, 3 grip trucks and 2 vans, and it just exploded for me. Probably I was doing anywhere from 3 to 8 jobs a day. So I was on fire. People just said, talk to me about money later, just send the lights out. It was 2007, 2008, and it was absolutely explosive. I just made a ton of money. In fact, I was so busy, I quit going out on set at all. I only had time to run the business, and that was for about 1.5 years. And that's what I did, and it was really great. That's what put me in the stratosphere. That allowed me to raise my prices, to do everything I had to do to establish myself as a real legitimate business and go totally, above board. So that was probably my big thing. And this all came from a 40-year-old guy that had never been on set before, but walked in. And I can tell you, I wasn't the most popular guy on set. I was like everybody's uncle, who didn't have a job, the 40-year-old PA, So it wasn't really like nobody was handing to me saying, oh, that's great. Oh, you really did something special here. But you stick with it and you ride the ride. And that's what puts you in the stratosphere. So it's so important. Any questions, anything that please let me know. Going to be out there. We're going to have a lot of fun. Applebox Network will be out there streaming live on Sunday, May 6th. So we will be streaming from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The event goes from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So we'll be out there. I know last year they had an In-N-Out Burger there. There's a great series of speakers. There's a lot of fun people out there too. Last year it rained, it was still packed. This year is supposed to be very nice weather. So I hope we get to see you out there. Please stop by the Applebox booth. I definitely want to talk to you. I want to see you, interview you, hear from you. So please stop by and say hi. We'll be out there with Sean and Tony and Gary, and everybody will be there. So I really highly encourage you to come out to that event. It's like the big breakout after NAB, and now all the shows start because we're going to have Cine Gear, of course, And then that same weekend, there's the Matthews garage sale, which is a lot of fun, and going to be out there too for that one. So I hope you'll stop by.
That's pretty much it.
It's actually very quiet today, Bernie. I don't know what to tell you. Everybody's resting up for.
I guess so. You must be resting up for the big event on Sunday.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know, but let's talk. What do you guys think? Give me some ideas on Tony. How did you get in the business? Give me some feedback on that.
How did I get into the business? I went to college.
Okay.
You know,
cheater.
Yeah, I know, right? Right, I know. Jeez. All that money. No, I actually started out in the cable side.
Did you?
Yeah, back when he's got a camera and a phone.
Right.
So, but back in the 90s, the cable companies supplied you with cameras. You can go out and shoot
Yeah.
the program and put it on the air, and it was awesome. But I worked at the cable company, and I kind of did a lot of the same things that you talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I got to know the guys that were doing all the productions there. I worked in the building where the studio was. Late at night, I would actually go into the studio and teach myself how to use the gear, how to use the switchers, and all the
So you would on your own go in there and teach yourself, experiment with them.
Yes.
And see what happens.
I made myself, I don't know, worthwhile. I don't know what the word is.
You value. You increased your value.
I made myself valuable to the producers that were there, so I could easily step in and switch a show or work cameras. So eventually, a position opened up, which were really hard to find at the time because you had to either die or be carried out.
In those days there weren't a lot of turnover.
No.
Wasn't the widespread of jobs we have now.
No, not at all. So a position came up, and I didn't even interview anybody. They just slipped me right in, and it's been fun ever since.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, the things that you talk about are really important. It's it's learning about the equipment. It's making the contacts and the relationships, making yourself valuable, sitting back, watching, learning, being quiet, asking questions when it's appropriate, and just making people know that you're there and you're ready and willing to work.
Yeah. And I think, needless to say, and both you guys are, but you need to be a self-starter. There is no, oh, I'm waiting for instructions. This is something that you've got to find out. I mean, I do that to these guys every day. I just expect them to know what to do. Now, that's good and bad. It makes me kind of a bad manager that I don't clear it out with them very much. But you know what? It's a certain expectation level that we do carry in this business. Is that guy, don't you know that? I mean, I've had that said to me before, and I've said it to people before, because you do have that expectation level.
Yeah. Well, nowadays, with the proliferation of information that's
Oh.
out there, I mean, it's,
Oh my God.
it's hard
Oh my
to
God.
not know what you're doing, at least in some fashion.
If you really want to find out, you'll find out.
Sure.
I mean, if you really want to know, it's there at the at a fingertip.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Sean, how about you?
Well, my story was I went to community college, and I just started gripping lighting because no one else wanted to open up the light kits, and everyone was just it was taboo or whatever. And I originally wanted to shoot in DP, but after that I just started realizing the business of it and going in that direction, because that was where I would tell people oh, I have a class, and they're like, well, you're a student, how can we not pay you?
So people were. Do you feel like?
Yeah, I lost work.
You lost work.
Being
in school.
But I mean, it is sort of where if you're a self-starter and you're willing to learn and bridge that information gap, then you'll do well. So, No, you will. And really, it takes. There has to be some trial by fire. You know what I mean? I mean, It is like you've got to test yourself and say, do I really want to do this? If you ever thought about not showing up on set, you're not for this business.
Yeah, no.
This is not the business for you. You got to show up dead.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you're going to make it, if you're going to have any kind of career,
If you don't show up, you
you're just
you
done.
just don't come back.
You're just done.
Don't come
yeah,
back.
yeah. I've had people no shows, and they
Get
were
washed
just
out.
yeah, and they wash themselves out. It isn't anything I do. Of course, I don't call them, but they did it to themselves. You know what I mean? My favorite line is, when the phone's not ringing, it's me on the other end. But that goes with it. So let me ask you this, Sean, more you than Tony. Was this business at all like what you thought it was?
No.
I swear
No, not at all.
that is the universal answer I get from everyone, is that it was not at all. And the same is experience for me too. I had no inkling that all this stuff happened, or it worked this way, or even the way the economics work in it. You know what I mean? It's not just pay, but the economics of where you're at, even as simple as like what subject matter do your clients mostly deal with? If it's automobiles, you're going to go in a certain direction there and learn certain skills one way. If it's something like it's interviews and small interviews, then that's something that it's going to take you another direction. Probably cars are better because they spend more money on them and the crews are bigger.
Yes.
But that's it. Well, listen, I think we're getting close to being out of time on this show. We're live. We really appreciate you guys watching and watching after the live. Thank you very much. And I'd like to take another opportunity here to say that we will be out at Chapman Leonard this Sunday, May 6th, for their product showcase, and we'll be out there with grip rigs and a lot of other great vendors. Come on out and say hi. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you next week on Bernie's Apple Box. Cut. That's a wrap.